All right, welcome everyone. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. So excited to see all of your faces this evening. Guess what? It's just me tonight, Dr. Stacy. It's been a while, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. I asked my leaders last week, I said, what do you guys think we should start thinking about or talking about next? And they said, can you just do one night with just you so we can get all of our questions answered? I said, yes, of course. So, what I want to do for you all tonight is I'm going to share the basics, the science and technology of how LifeWaves patches work, what they are, what they do, answer those frequently asked questions. And then I'm going to, of course, open it up for questions in the chat. So hang on to your questions here, or if you want to start dropping them in, that's totally fine too. I'll be scrolling down through there in a little bit. But before I get started, I wanted to share our disclaimer with you. The information that I'm going to share this evening is for informational purposes only. This is about LifeWaves technology. I am not a medical doctor. I am not your doctor. I have a PhD in integrative medicine and a PhD in functional medicine. So I focus in the holistic world of alternative types of healing modalities and therapies. Nutrition's always the foundation, right? All of those core practices that we all embody, I'm sure, every single day to make our life the best. But the information I'm sharing here tonight is not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, prevent any diseases at all, or any syndromes or anything else that's going on with you. If you have any questions about your health, please check with your healthcare practitioner, your doctor, and of course, if you're pregnant or nursing, if your kids under 18, la la la, you all guys know that deal, right? So if you're a guest tonight, thank you for listening in for the first time, or maybe you're listening to this replay to hear about LifeWaves technology, and I'm excited to share that with you. Believe it or not, today is my 3-year anniversary with LifeWave. So I am celebrating 3 years of utilizing this technology in my life with my family and of course with tens and thousands of other people across the globe over the last 3 years. So it's really exciting to be here on this day. The first day that I found out about the patches 3 years ago, it was just it was divine. There's nothing more to say than it was absolutely divine intervention. It wasn't anything that I was looking for. I wasn't anticipating doing these Zooms 3 years later. I was just, always seeking for things to help my daughter and help my family have the best quality of life. And enter LifeWave. So let's talk about what this technology does, because it's entering your life today for the first time. And you're probably thinking, what is this? How does this work? How can it really help me? How can this little Band-Aid do anything? So this is what our patch looks like. It is smooth on one side and sticky on the other. This is a 3M hypoallergenic Band-Aid, basically. Okay. And it's what we're going to talk about tonight is this white disc inside. It is smushed or embedded in between two polymer shells. Okay. And so what's in this patch does not enter your body. This is a wearable light technology. Looks super sophisticated and fancy, doesn't it? It looks like a really nice, a little thicker, heavy Band-Aid, right? But this technology well, it's not new. It was invented by David Schmidt over 20 years ago. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit of this background because it may be new to you. This may be the first time you've seen this or heard of this. And you may be thinking, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. If it was so good, if it was so amazing, I would have heard about it before, right? Or for me, 3 years ago, I was like, where's this been all my life? Why didn't I know about this 20 years ago? I would have loved to utilize this technology 20 years ago. But, like I said, it was divine. Everything's divine timing. Everything is coming to you when you are ready for it. And you're ready for it tonight, or you wouldn't be here. So David Schmidt is the inventor of this technology. And like I said, it's not new. He's been inventing patches for 20 years. He started just over 20 years ago working with the Navy SEALs. He was contracted by the US Department of Defense to help them with survival equipment on their many submissions. And things were going great. Everything was amazing. He invented some pretty cool things that no one thought was even possible. And so because they were so impressed, they asked him to help with a problem the SEALs were having with sustainability, oxygenation, and energy, endurance, stamina in the field. They were on drugs. They were on uppers, caffeine, amphetamines, all kinds of stuff. And their quality of life, not so good. So he invented the first patch. It's actually a two-patch system, energy enhancer. It utilizes a white patch and a tan patch. An energy enhancer, a little back came off this one. Energy enhancer triggers beta oxidation. So it works with the polarity of your body, white right, tan left, wherever you apply it. There's many different locations you can pick. But when you trigger beta oxidation, that means turns body fat into fuel. I don't know if any of you have body fat you're interested in turning into fuel. I don't know. Maybe not. I know I have people all the time say, well, what about an athlete? They don't have hardly any body fat. Well, we all have some body fat, right? Or we wouldn't be alive. And we all can utilize that fat for fuel instead of utilizing sugar for fuel, right? Or amphetamines or caffeine or uppers, those things that are harmful. Gosh, I mean, every time I think I open Instagram and see a reel, there's another doctor in the ER posting about how many people she lost that day or he lost that day from energy drinks. And I'm like, whoa. Like we've always heard, Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, those are the bad ones. But now we're hearing them left and right, all other kinds. So just stay away from them, right? But anyway, energy enhancer is your option instead of all those drinks that are toxic for you. I love energy enhancer. It turns over the lymphatic system. It keeps everything flowing and moving in your body, which is very important for your overall health. It impacts that mitochondria, right? The ATP, that powerhouse energy source from the cell. You have trillions of cells, and energy enhancer goes right to them and impacts that mitochondrial function. So very, very powerful patch. Well, of course, everything was going great with the SEALs. And as many of you in the United States know, 9/11 happened. And that took our Department of Defense and shifted them in a different direction, of course, to protect the country and bear more arms. So they pulled out of that mini submission, and David then went to Richard Quick at Stanford University. And if you saw me a few weeks ago, I had a little slide show up and I had some pictures of Richard Quick and his female USA Olympic athlete, gold medalist, and was talking about them when we had several athletes on for that segment. It's on my YouTube channel. If you missed the 5-part series on athletes and personal trainers, Laura and Leah were doing a segment on there as a personal trainer and a row coach in their past life, and lots of amazing people that I got to interview over the last 5 weeks. So being able to really help people in an athletic type of situation is what David started with. And from the USA Olympic swim team, Stanford University swim team, he had clinical studies. And those clinical studies for 2 years show without a shadow of a doubt that we were not putting anything into the body. We were triggering this process with light. And of course, David decided then to start LifeWave. So we are actually celebrating our 20-year anniversary right now, this year in 2024. So it's a year-long celebration. We kicked it off in Cancun. We're getting ready to head to Bora Bora next month. We've got a Greek Isles cruise in August, and we're going to wrap up the year down in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. So, and of course, convention in October in Dallas. We're just going to celebrate our way all over the country this year. East Coast, West Coast, out in the French Polynesian, over in the Greek Mediterranean, you name it, we're going to do it, celebrating LifeWave's 20 year, because we are a global company, you guys. We are literally in 82 different countries. We are not just here in the United States. We are in Canada and Mexico, of course, and all over every country in Europe and all over Asia. So it's just making its way around the globe, and it has all these years, right? It's been in all these countries. We did just open up South Korea just earlier this year, but otherwise the other countries we've had open. And I share that with you because I want you to think about people that you care and people that you love and people that you know in other areas. Maybe they don't live in your city or state or even country. They live all over, and we can share this technology with anybody with a click of a button. So let's just fast forward up to today. Over the last 20 years, David has invented a dozen different patches. Each patch does something different. And if you want to know what each patch does, please go to my YouTube channel. I did a video a few months ago on all of the patches, kind of like a summary of each one. We don't have time to get into that tonight because I want to make sure I get all your questions answered since we haven't done that in a while. But basically, each patch activates a different process in the body, like I said, triggering beta oxidation, or activates a different peptide in the body. So they're not the same. The patches are not the same. They do different things. And all the patches that David invented up until about 5 years ago actually were what we call supportive patches. They support organ function and system function, cellular function in the body. And all of our clinical studies show exactly what each patch does, how it impacts the kidneys and the liver and the heart and the brain and the pancreas and the nervous system and digestive system, immune system, circulatory system. All of these things are in our studies. And you can go to startx39now.com and you can see all of those clinical studies. You can watch videos of David talking about the patches, every single one of them. You can see LifeWave Health's YouTube channel, my YouTube channel's on there, lots of great PDFs. There's a 52-page PDF. It's the story of X39 that David wrote. It's incredible. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight, is that, well, not that 52-page PDF. We don't have enough time for that, but we're going to focus on that patch. And X39 is our flagship patch. It's been on the market almost 5 years. Why only 5 years? Well, because it took David 10 years in the lab to figure out how to elevate this peptide GHK. It was no small feat, you guys, to figure that out. So let's talk about how this is even happening. How is this patch working? You saw me put it on my body, and if you're a guest and you're new here, you just came in, I'm going to take it off and show it to you again. Non-transdermal, nothing entering the body, no beams of light shooting from my chest from this patch, right? But it is a wearable light technology, but you didn't see anything happening, and I didn't feel anything happening. You didn't see anything kind of crazy going on with me, other than I'm just, sharing all this information. So when you put the patch on, you put it on in the morning, nothing happens. You just brush your teeth, you put your patch on, you go about your day, you leave it on 12 hours. But what's happening that you don't see and that you don't feel is your body's heat or light that you emit. If you put your hand on your chest, you're about 98.6 degrees-ish, give or take, right? Well, that light or heat that you're emitting is measurable. It's a low-level infrared light, and that is what's communicating with this patch. I put this patch on in the morning, my body's light hits it, and because what David has invented inside of that patch is reflective, it reflects back a very specific wavelength of light into my body that I don't see or feel. So this white part has a lattice structure. Now it's made up of a proprietary blend of organic molecules. They're called stereoisomers. They form together in a specific way so that they're reflective, and they stay intact for about 12 hours. So we put this patch on in the morning, we leave it on, we go about our day, we do all our things, we stay extra hydrated, plenty of fresh, clean, healthy water. I love lime in mine. You guys know that. A little bit of Celtic sea salt every day helps you to stay full of all those important trace minerals that really help your body to be able to absorb all the water that you're drinking and be able to help all of your cellular functions. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but as you age, you become mineral deficient. And most of your ailments wouldn't be there if you weren't mineral deficient. Believe it or not, it's that simple that you get yourself some Celtic sea salt, get yourself a really good electrolyte blend, like a powder or something, not a Gatorade, something that you can, sip on maybe throughout the day as well too. They have a lot of great ones out there online. I'm a big proponent of Celtic sea salt because it has 92 trace minerals. I love sea moss. It has about 102 trace minerals. You are mineral deficient. That is why you have issues. And so we want to be able to help replace those minerals in the body and keep the body cellularly working together, right? Cell-to-cell communication. Vitally important. Just take a crystal, just one little baby crystal of Celtic sea salt, put it on your tongue before each glass of water throughout the day. That'll pull all the water into the cells and tissues. It's so important. I promise you, it really will make a huge difference in every area of your life. And believe it or not, these patches need you to be hydrated, and they need you to have minerals in your body to work at their optimal level. This is a wearable light technology. And when you're activating peptides are chains of proteins or amino acids. They're the building blocks of your body. When you're activating these processes inside of the body, that biochemical reaction that's happening instantly with the mitochondria, it's just boom, boom, boom. Like you can't even think as fast as this is happening. All of the components need to be there, and water is a big one. Half your body weight in ounces every day. throughout the day. After 12 hours, you take your patch off and you throw it away, or you put it on your furry little baby running around or your plant. And then you get up the next morning and you do the same thing again. And you do it over and over and over and over and over and over again until the end of time. I always say stop patching when you want to start aging again. But in all honesty, let's talk about what we would kind of see as a timeline, because that's everyone's question. Will it work for this? And how long will it take? That's what everyone wants to know. Well, let's just be upfront right now. There are 600 of you on here. This is not a drug. This is not a medication. I don't know how long it's going to take. Okay. I have no clue. This is not going to make a number look pretty on a piece of paper. And if you stop taking it, then poof, that number is going to go bad again. That's not the way this technology works. This is about repair and regeneration. When we activate that peptide, we call GHK the fountain of youth. The fountain of youth does not happen in 30 days. It doesn't happen in 6 months. You really start to see that fountain of youth start to kick in for people 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. My gosh, I interviewed last week Jason Fowler, who's been patching for over 4 years. Talk about the before and after of that man. When I popped open that, slideshow he'd sent me, those pictures, and I'm like, is that picture before you started patching? And look at you now. I mean, he looks a solid 20 years younger. I mean, he looks so much younger, but it happened over time. And it's a representation of what's happening on the inside. When your insides are getting healthy, when they're getting younger, when things are repairing, when things are reversing their functionality, then we can see that reflection on the outside. And somebody popped up in my team page a video from when I first got started, and I was doing a live inside of the video. And I looked at that the other day and I was like, oh, wow, that was 3 years ago. Woo, I thought I looked good 3 years ago. I can tell there's a difference. These patches are really working. That makes a big difference. And you kind of forget about that, right? Because you look at yourself every single day and you're always looking at every little thing, right? Thank God for the fountain of youth. So when we activate that peptide, the next thing that happens is it actually sets in process a motion to upregulate or to reset a third of your genes back to their young, youthful, healthy state. So this is what happens when you're still brushing your teeth, you guys. You put your patch on, you're brushing your teeth, and immediately, boom, that peptide's activated, the mitochondria, everything's wiring and firing, all the stuff's happening. You're immediately getting your genes reset, upregulated back to their perfect state. And then what happens is it activates those cells, those master cells that are responsible for repair and regeneration. And it starts the process of waking them up. So what happens is when you're young, right, you have an abundance of these cells that go around and they repair and regenerate anything that happens, right? You're a kid, you fall down, you scrape your knee, you break your bone. It's like, boom, the body heals so fast. The kids don't even need cast, right? A little Band-Aid, the boo-boo's gone the next day. Well, as we age, those cells are no longer present as much as they were when you were a kid. By the time you're in your 30s, you have half of those cells, those master cells that are responsible for repairing and regenerating things. Have you ever been in a car accident in your teens or your 20s and you start feeling it in your 30s or your 40s and you're like, oh, what happened? Oh man, I forgot about that, right? Those aches and pains start to kick in, or maybe you walk into a room and you forget why you walked in. So you turn around and go back out and then come back in, trying to jog your memory, right? Those things start to happen usually in your late 30s. It's because you have half of these master cells. Well, by the time you're in your 60s, less than 10%. Now 90% are dormant, tired, and worn out. And so what happens is your body's ability to repair and regenerate itself has declined. Now, I told you, you were already not in such a great shape because you're mineral deficient, most of you, right? And then you throw in these cells not being able to be, they're not there, they're worn out and they're tired. And so then your body does not heal like it used to when you were a kid. If you fall down and scrape your knees, you guys have seen people with bruises all up and down their arms, right? Or if they, on their knees and that things don't heal and they've got open wounds for a long time, or God forbid they break a bone, right? That's just not going to heal as fast as it, or if it even does heal, that's going to take forever. And so what this does is it wakes up those cells that are responsible to repair whatever's needed in your body. Now, remember, it's whatever order your body wants. We're going to do this every day, day after day, week after week, month after month. We cannot direct where these cells go, but I'll tell you this. What people most notice, I'm going to say in the first 3 to 6 weeks, not the first 3 to 6 days, but the first 3 to 6 weeks, people start, about 80% start to see some changes. Okay. So if you see changes before 3 weeks, fantastic. I know I didn't feel a thing for 3 weeks. I didn't notice anything. Now, Laura here, 20 minutes, she could tell a difference in her shoulder. It was like, oh, more range of motion. Why her and not me? No rhyme or reason. No rhyme or reason. You cannot pick. It's not how old you are, how healthy you are, how fat, how skinny, what color you are, where you live, where you don't. Nothing matters. Some people feel things faster, some don't. I'm just going to tell you, give it at least your 3 to 6 weeks before you think about feeling a thing. But what people typically notice is some pain reduction, right? A little bit better quality of sleep. Maybe more mental energy or clarity, focus, right? People say, I got more done in 2 weeks than I did in the last 2 years. Well, your body, it's cleaning out the cobwebs, right? You're going to your brain, kind of cleaning things out up there so you can focus, get rid of that brain fog. Of course, faster wound healing, we can see a 40% reduction in healing time. We can see that using this patch, 40% reduction. We have so many people that have had accidents, right? They've fallen, they've broken something, they've had to have surgeries, and then boom, their body heals so much faster. So we can see that. We can see more physical energy and just so many more things that people start to notice in the first 3 to 6 weeks. But here's what I want you to understand. So remember, we're past a month now, okay? Past 30 days, this is not a 30-day, 30 years of problems are gone. What we start to see after 6 weeks is significant when we look at the brain and when we look at the heart. Those are your two major things in your body, your brain and your heart. You don't live without either of them. Well, you have to have all your stuff, right? Pretty much, right? But you can't live without your brain. You can't live without your heart. We see at 6 weeks that cardiovascular system is functioning 8 weeks younger. Not at 4 weeks, not at 5 weeks, but at 6 weeks, we start to see it functioning younger, meaning repair has taken place. When we look at the brain, same thing. Clinical studies show the brain is in coherence, more coherence, less anxiety, right? Those executive functions start to come into play, the memory, the cognition, things start to improve around that 6-week point. There is a compound effect with this technology. The longer you patch, the more benefits you will have. Maybe for you, you don't feel anything for 3 or 4 months. We all know people that have patched and they didn't notice anything until a few months in. And then all of a sudden, boom, things were amazing. Things started to change. Things started to click. I had a lady call me a few weeks ago and tell me that her husband had been patching for 2 years and 2 months. And finally, all of his full body nerve pain was gone. He just woke up one day and it was all gone. Other things happened along the way. He stayed consistent, but that full body just couldn't sit down for more than 30-minute pain, gone. But it was 2 years and 2 months. He's in his 70s. What do you have but time, right? You have time and you have your health. And if you don't have your health, you probably don't have much time. And so he thought he had nothing to lose. And of course he didn't. And now he is here. I think he's probably about a month now that things have been a whole new lease on life. Can you imagine? We know that about 70% of the population is in some kind of pain. If you're in pain, you're not focused, you're not happy, you're probably not sleeping real well. You're probably not a super friendly, productive person, or you just suck it up and get through it. But still, I had a lady tell me once, she was sharing her story, and I don't know how many years and years of pain, full body pain, different situation, but still, she said her husband, once she started using the patches, and I can't remember if it was 4 months, 5 months, I don't remember. But once the pain was gone, he said that look on her face was a face he hadn't seen forever. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, here, let me take a picture of you. Look at yourself. And she's like, oh my gosh, that is a face of someone not in pain. She'd forgotten what she looked like not in pain because she'd had pain on her face. Even if she faked it and acted like it didn't hurt, she was always in pain until it was gone. And then thank God, once you're in your pain, you don't have to feel that pain anymore, right? You don't have to remember it. But we know that we can help you get out of pain. Okay. This technology does that. And we also know that the longer you're patching, we're not only just fixing a little, like a little over the counter pill or a pain pill, we're actually getting to the root of the problem. And that takes time. So you have to be patient with your body's own healing process. We can't direct where these master cells go. We only have to use the patch every day for 12 hours, stay hydrated, and make sure that we're consistent with that process. Consistency builds, that compound effect builds. And when you look at those of us that have been patching for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or even almost the 5 years this patch has been out, there's a huge difference in the quality of our life. And why would someone keep patching? Right? I'm going to answer that question. Shouldn't I be able to patch for, my 6 months if I'm in my 60s, all of my master cells are woke up and I can just stop patching and everything's perfect? You can. Absolutely, you can. If you've crossed all the things off your list that are decreasing your quality of life, of course you can stop patching. This is regenerative medicine. David holds over 150 patents himself. Over 70 of them are in regenerative medicine. You can stop at any time, and all that will happen is your body will just start the aging process just as it normally would. Any repair and regeneration that's taken place is yours, right? We have organs. Your master cells go into repair organ function, repair cellular function, repair the systems in your body. That repair doesn't stop the day you stop patching. Okay, you're just going to start your aging process just as you normally would. But why would we keep patching? Like I said before, right? I'm not going to stop patching unless I want to get older. And for me, it's about prevention and vitality and longevity and overall wellness. This is a tool in my toolbox. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. This is a tool in my toolbox that allows me to very effectively and affordably and easily be able to use something every day to improve the quality of my health, to make sure that I'm not subject to those top 5 killers out there. And you all know what they are. They're serious, they're real, and they're happening to people every single day. And we want to do what we can to be able to help. And this tool helps us in that process. It's a decision to make. It's literally the price of a cup of coffee a day. It is extremely accessible. Like I said, anyone can get this all over the globe. And also know that it's safe. There are no contraindications. If you're on medicines, like I said, check with your healthcare practitioner. I'm not your doctor and won't be giving medical advice tonight at all. But please know that there's 0 contraindications. Nothing is entering your body except for a wavelength of light. And we all know that light enters our body every day when we go outside into the sun. Light creates change. This patch doesn't need the sunlight. It doesn't need a sauna. It doesn't need a laser or a red light pad or a red light bed or anything like that. Those are all outside light forms that create change in our body. This uses us. We are the power source, the light source. We are what is driving this patch. So this wavelength of light that activates a peptide, sets in motion a process to be able to help bring the body into balance. That happens effortlessly without your thought, without you needing to go anywhere, hook up to anything, or pay astronomical prices for it. A lot of people recently are saying, have you ever thought about the med beds? Are you going to be a part of that? Are you going to do that? Or when are they coming? I'm like, oh my God, I've heard about the med beds for 4 years now. I don't know. I have no idea when they're coming. I feel like I've got one right here. This is it, right? I don't need anything else. And if it comes, great, fantastic. It sounds amazing, but I'm not going to sit here and wait on it. But remember, this was top secret Navy SEAL government technology that no one was going to get their hands on. And then because of 9/11, David was able to move in a different direction and start his own company and bring this to the public for a very affordable price. This is what we have now. I'm only going to focus on what I have right now. Doesn't mean I won't have more tools in my toolbox as the years go on. Of course I will, right? I'm always out there seeking things that are going to be able to make sure that I don't need the medical, right? The allopathic pathway. I'm going to do all the things I can holistically. But this tool is definitely something that will give you the ability to be able to very effectively help yourself, help your family members to improve your quality of life. Now, I'm going to start answering questions, and I know there's, over 100 of them in here. You guys have been chatting it up while I've been chatting it up. So I'm going to start out at the very beginning. But I want you to know that, again, you're going to ask me diseases because that's just how you guys talk. I want you to think about this because I'm going to answer you in these ways. Your body does not understand a diagnosis. It does not understand a disease or a syndrome, okay? Or any XYZ name that you give it that are these long, lengthy things that I think are being made up every single day. Your body has organs, right? Your body has systems. Your body has cells. We want to help bring those things into balance. All of our clinical studies are looking at organs, systems, and cellular function. The mobility of the body, right? The functionality of the body. We are not going to discuss diseases. So if you say to me, well, what about for blah, 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 blah? I'm going to say, well, let's look at the organ that impacts the brain. And I'm going to tell you for neurological things, here are the patches. I'm going to give you all the patches that are a possibility. We always start with X39, always, no matter what. That is our starting point. Our second patch we always go to is Eon. Eon reduces inflammation. It brings the nervous system into balance. If you have a diagnosis, you have inflammation. Easy peasy. X39 and Eon for every single person on the planet. I could just stop the Zoom right now and we would be done. Everyone would just go use X39 and Eon until. But David has invented some other patches, like I mentioned, and different patches target different systems or different organs in different ways. And so a lot of them target a lot of different organs and systems. So you're going to hear me just rattle off several patches. And just for time purposes, so I can get to all of your questions, I'm just going to answer them like this. Okay, I'm just going to fire off, use this patch, this patch, this patch, and this patch. If you want a detailed explanation of what each patch does and how it works, then go back to that Zoom that I referenced a few months ago where I went over, I think it's Dr. Staci explains all of LifeWave's patches or all of LifeWave's technology, and you'll be able to see a thorough explanation of all of them. I really did a longer version on that. Okay, so just so we're good on that. All right, so we got our disclaimer in here. Thank you, David, again for doing that. Can I stop taking supplements if the patches are working? Great question. Gonna elaborate on that. We see using the patches, your supplements increase their efficacy by about 20 to 30%. So it will help them work better, of course, helping your digestive system, helping your gut. It's going to help your body absorb and assimilate those better. But you may find that there's some that you don't need anymore. Now, I'm not going to say if you have MTHFR that you're never going to need Bs. Absolutely not. You will need Bs to the day you die. So we're not going to say that the patch is going to replace vitamins. It's not replacing minerals. I've already told you that. You got to have your minerals. If you're not taking D3 with K2, you should be. Like, we're not going to get into all the supplements you should and shouldn't have, but I'm just saying there are some things you're going to need and you're always going to need. This doesn't take the place of omegas, but it's going to help the body function better than it did. When will it get there? You have supplements. You have a practitioner that's told you what to use. So I'm sure you'll be working with that person and you can muscle test or however you do that to see what supplements you should be taking. But that's a great question. And of course, we have helped people not be able to take as many, but there are some you just probably are going to need to take because we don't get the things in our food. Most of it's not really food anymore anyways. Gosh, we're trying as hard as we can out there, right? So when someone would like to support their cognitive health, memory, and they're already wearing X39 and Eon, what single patch might you add? Great question. I love the way you worded that. Can we get everybody to word that like Shar did? That was amazing. Laura's like, yeah, please. No diseases. Everything's great. So I would add carnosine 100% hands down. Love carnosine, balancing the brain, all of your executive functions. It is just a powerful brain patch. I love X49 too. It has neurological benefits as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How much Celtic sea salt should I take? So I would take a crystal, like it's hard to get a crystal on your tongue. You'll probably end up with a few crystals, but just a teeny tiny little bit on your tongue before every glass of water. And then maybe a pinch, once or twice a day into your water as well. I put it on my food, Celtic sea salt. You don't need a lot of it. It's great flavor, but you need it every day. It is not like your white Morton's table salt that your doctor says, stay away from salt. Don't stay away from salt. That's why you have problems, because you are mineral deficient. So use the right salt and you will help your body to get into balance. All right, ACL meniscus repair. Doctor took a piece of my hamstring. Ouch. That was in 2005. Do my stem cells think it's still a hamstring or an ACL? That's great. Oh my God, that is the first time I ever had that one question. That's a great one, Barbara. You know what? Your stem cells are whatever they need to be. We call them pluripotent, and that means they're changeable. So you have muscle stem cells, you have tendon and ligament stem cells, you have bone stem cells, you have heart stem cells and kidney stem cells. Those things can turn into anything they need to be, and they know how to do that. So if they need to go to help your ACL and it's actually hamstring, then it will be those hamstring cells. That's a great question though. Never had that one in 3 years. I love it. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you. All right, so moving on down, close friend who has a heart disease is wearing a pacemaker, just got a sleeve of X39 and Eon. Where should she wear her patches? Great question. So my father-in-law was one of the first people I patched. He'd had a stroke, a pacemaker, defibrillator, knee replacement, all the things going on in his 70s. So the patches are totally fine to use. Of course, check with your doctor, healthcare practitioner. The key is to put them on the body. Okay, they don't work in the package. So if they're in the package, they're not going to work. We have to get them on the body. Wherever you put them on the body is up to you. We have little instruction booklets that come with each packet because we have done clinical studies that are double-blind, placebo, and controlled. You have to have participants doing the same thing every day in and out. So those booklets show you the places that our double-blind, placebo-controlled studies had our participants patching on a consistent basis. So you can pick one of those spots or you can stick it anywhere. You guys always ask me, what patch is this? I don't know. It's whatever one I grabbed out of the bag and threw on at the moment. I know it's not an ice wave or an energy enhancer because there's 2 patches in there. It could be an Eon, it could be a carnosine. I think it may be a glutathione. I have no idea. I always put my patches on below my belly button because it's easy and I don't have to think about it. They just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all down a row. That's just what I do. I've done that from day one, and they'll just rip them right off, and then I'll throw on an Alavita and go about my day. If you see a patch here, it's for your purposes only to see it. And if I'm going out and about, grocery shopping or whatever, I'll have a patch here too, so people can go, what is that on your chest right there, young lady? Right. Well, I live in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, so there's a lot of people going, young lady, excuse me, miss, right? They're a little bit, seasoned here at Lakewood Ranch. So you can put the patch anywhere you want. Stick it on your heart, stick it on your back. It doesn't matter. It's activating peptides. Remember, we can't direct those master cells. They're going to go wherever they want, whenever they want. If you want to stick it on your heart, it does not mean it's going to go impact your heart today. It may be a month from now. It may be a year from now before something changes with your cardiovascular system. You don't know, and neither do I. If someone has a skin irritation, what are your suggestions? If you wear it on clothing, the shiny side towards the skin, is that okay? So we have 1 out of 10,000 that actually has something like a skin irritation. And that's because this is a 3M hypoallergenic patch. So we don't really have that as a problem with people at all. But if you feel like you do, maybe you have a little bit of a rash or something, your body's probably just detoxing. I know with my daughter, when I first started patching on the back of her neck every day, when I'd take that patch off at night, there'd be a little red ring around it. Just a little red ring around both. Well, I put the X39E on both, on the back of her neck and right below that, every single day. And there would be little red rings. And then in the morning when she woke up, they were gone. And after 3 months, no more rings. It's like all the little irritation was gone after 3 months. But if you feel like it's uncomfortable, then yes, you can take this and you can stick it on the inside of your shirt and you can wear it with the smooth part right there, and it's still working. It's still working if you stick it in your pocket with the back still on it. It's still working because your body's heat that you're emitting comes off 2 to 4 inches. So that's happening no matter what, but you can put it on your clothes if you want to. How to wear IceWave patches with plantar fasciitis pain. So when we use IceWave, remember it's a 2-patch system, white That fell off again. I need a new one. White on the right, tan on the left. So you need 2 patches. So you have 2 feet. I would put the white one on the right foot and the tan one on the left foot. Use the balls of the feet, that K1 acupuncture point. That's where I would put your patches, on the bottom of your feet. But if you want to put them on the sides, or, back by the ankles, or on the tops, you can move them around. Ice Wave is meant to move so you can find where the pain is. Pain is stuck energy, and you want to open up those energy channels with the Ice Wave. So feel free to move them around, whatever works for you. We're all different on that. What do you say to someone who says there's nothing in the middle of the patch? It's just a light reflector. It reflects our own light. Therefore, this person wears the same patch all the time. Okay, well, that's fun. So go to startx39now.com and pull up our patent. So our patent states very clearly that we elevate and activate a peptide called GHKCU, and in turn, we activate stem cells. That is what the patent says. And so in order to do that, there has to be something in here that is doing something literally no shy of a miracle, okay? So when you put the patch on, again, this patch has inside of it, right here in that white part, a lattice structure. It is a solution of chiral stereoisomers. They are molecules of organic amino acids, oxygen, water, and sugars. They form a lattice that is reflective. That's in here. You don't get a patent unless what this says it does, it does. We have double-blind, placebo-controlled, peer-reviewed studies that state very clearly that this is elevating GHK in the blood of the participants over the days and weeks and on that they are using the patch. So go to startx39now.com, print off the 52-page PDF. It goes in depth with those chiral stereoisomers, and show that to the person if you decide to let them see exactly how this technology works. But I guarantee you it's not just a light reflector. And if you wear this every day, it's not going to be effective. There's something called attenuation. This is designed to wear 12 hours. Take it off. Your body needs a break. Okay, and like I said, that lattice structure holds together about 12 hours. After that, it starts to dissipate. We are almost 100 degrees, unless you're in Florida, and now we've hit 95. So our temperature has jumped up even higher. Already, May is here, and we are full on summer for the next 6 months. So know that this patch is only working for 12 hours, and you take it off and you throw it away, and you do a brand new one the next day. If it were the case that it's something you could wear every day, 24 hours a day for weeks and months on end, why wouldn't we have that after 20 years of research, 20 years of studies? If that was what was effective, that's what we would be doing. So this is not a brand new thing. It's like, oh, we just trying to, sell patches. So hurry up and get through them all. Doesn't work that way. We've got all the studies to prove, right? Over 90 that show this is what is effective in significantly increasing statistical differences in our clinical studies in people's functionality. You don't just wear a patch every day, all day. Energy enhancer, white on the right, tan on the left. Absolutely. All righty. Moving on. I love you guys that are answering some questions too. I have a lady who had a stem cell transplant. Her bone marrow product too much protein, and it stacks bones and organs if not kept under control. It is a C blood issue that attacks her immune system. She's hoping X39 can help her rather than have another stem cell transplant. Her numbers are slightly up again, needs a treatment. I cannot speak. I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't speak to whether that will help or hurt her. She needs to take this technology to her doctor and show them the studies and the research, print off some of the studies, and ask her doctor if this would be effective for her in her situation. Can I wear the Aloe Vita patch under my eye mask when I sleep? Yes, you definitely can, of course. Definitely not on the eyes though, but yes, on the eye patch. And anywhere you want to put the Aloe Vita is perfectly fine. Some people like to put it right here to have those vivid dreams. I have those anyways with it underneath my belly button. And some people do put them on scars or on moles. Brent has a mole right now, like a little spot on his arm right here. So he's putting the Alavita on that every night, Eon on it during the day, and it already looks, I told him, I said, why didn't you take a before picture? He didn't take a picture. I'm like, oh my God, it already looks amazing. So you can put it, I've had people have moles fall off. I had a mole fall off my body and I wasn't patching the mole. It just kind of got kind of weird feeling, kind of itchy feeling, and then it just fell off. So you can put them on. I've had people put them on their marionette lines. I've had people put them on their jowls or their number 11s. You can put them, the Alavita, anywhere you want at night. Yes, post your questions here. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing my YouTube. I appreciate that. What is the patch that helps with your, all right, Patty, so we can't necessarily talk about that word, but we can talk about Alavita, as we were just now talking about that. It activates your peptide, the epithalamine peptide in your pineal gland. That peptide is the peptide that's responsible for impacting those little end caps to our chromosomes and helping those little babies to lengthen, which helps our lifespan. So I would definitely, if you have not read the book, The Telomere Effect, get that book. It's a really good book. And use Alavita every night for that, Patty. Yeah, we already recommended mineral supplements. When buildup of uric acid crystal causes toe joint pain, what patches besides Ice Wave might help resolve that? Eon helps reduce inflammation. That can help reduce some pain for sure. And then X39. For someone with a precis, can support bone marrow and increase platelets. I have no idea. You guys have to remember the body knows how to heal itself. It's going to do whatever it's going to do. We don't look at any kind of diseases or situations in the body. Remember, organ function, system function. Could it help? It could help. Absolutely, but I can't obviously guarantee that it could. It can't hurt you. How long do you have to wear them before you can stop? We already went over that part. Thank you guys for your answers. One of my clients was offered thyroid meds while she waited for doctor appointment to renew her script. Her blood work is now normal. Oh, wow, for TSH. That's fantastic. That's great to hear. A customer with severe PTSD, I would definitely use your X39, your Eon, carnosine, anything in the brain, X39, Eon, and carnosine. And X49, of course. Let's see, daytime patches, X39, X49, and energy enhancer. Nighttime only patches are going to be the Alavita and Silent Nights. The others can go day or night, okay? As far as copper, we're activating the copper peptide, and that is different than copper, but you do need copper in your body. Of course, most people are deficient in that, but we use, personally, I'm a big fan of dark chocolate. So a square of dark chocolate every day keeps the doctor away. So that's what I would do, unless you like liver. I don't like liver. Okay. Oh boy, that's a background. Okay, we don't have time to read that one. We've got 10 more minutes. So remember, quick, short questions. Okay, you guys. Difficult time healing a wound, I would do X39, Eon, and carnosine. Carnosine's great for wound healing, tissue repair. Yep, Alavita is amazing for scars as well too, inside and out. When you look at gut health, Marie, she asked about IBS. So gut health, X39, X39 Eon, glutathione is amazing for the gut. That's the master antioxidant. Huge for gut health. And of course, SP6. SP6 balances the endocrine system, which is a set of glands and organs responsible for your hormone balancing. And that includes intestines. So let's see. We already said nighttime patches. Oh, that's good. No more pain on Gina's face. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. What patches are designed to wear for life? All of them. All of them. Which ones are you wearing? All of them. No, I don't wear the Silent Nights at all. I never have. I don't need that patch. X39, glutathione, Eon, carnosine, like those big antioxidants, reducing inflammation all the time is very important. Energy enhancer as needed. I used them a lot in the beginning to help turn over that lymphatic system and get make sure my mitochondria was functioning correctly. I have a lot of energy, so it's not that I need them for energy at all. Alavita, like I said, every night. I've used SP6 in the past. Of course, use X49. So it's just up to you what you want to do, but I know that antioxidants are vitally important, and why wouldn't I activate my own instead of trying to get them from an outside source, right? Of course, I get them from my food, but not like activating my own. 12 months of patching, great success. That's fantastic to hear. Can the patch be worn during an MRI? It's not, yes, these are not earrings. Take your earrings out, leave your patch on. Totally different things. Surgery, how fast can you start patching? Well, Laura patched before she even left the hospital. When she had her hip replacement, Tommy stuck those patches as close as he could get them. So you can patch right away. There's no need to wait, right? The faster you can get the patches on you, the faster you can get your body into that healing mode. So they have nothing to do with surgery at all. Best patch if you have severe inflammation in the body, that's X39 Eon, of course. Alavita reduces oxidative stress, inflammatory stress. It is huge to use that one as well. What's the best thing to do when someone gets a red rash from the patch? Let them know they're detoxing. Their skin is their largest organ. Ask them how much water do they drink every day and how many bowel movements do they have a day. Most people don't drink enough water and they don't have enough bowel movements. Toxins are eliminated through your urine and through your feces. If you're not pooping every day, and of course through your breath, if you're not getting any kind of exercise to get that heart rate up and to expel that out of your breath, then you're probably detoxing through your skin. So it's your largest organ and the toxins are going to come out some way. So I would have them definitely get more water, Celtic sea salt again, and have them make sure they are having at least 2 bowel movements a day. I cannot say there's any patch to help with narcissism. X39 Eon, Carnosine, X49 are brain patches. Good luck. Might want to remove yourself from the situation. Does anyone have SVT that use this? I have no idea what SVT is. So was asked if the X39 will resurrect a cancer cell. Absolutely not. No, definitely not. Otherwise, we would not be in business. We would not have millions of people all over the globe so much better in their health and their quality of life. No, definitely not. If you had a stem cell replacement therapy, can you use X3949 to affect the injected stem cells? Check with your doctor on that, Elizabeth. They would know best in your situation. Before surgery is definitely best if you can. Yeah, what patch? Yeah, people keep asking about this. I don't know. I'm not really for sure. I don't know. I just pick one and stick it on. What about psoriasis? So again, we're talking about the skin. So with your skin, X39 Eon, Alavita. Alavita is our skin patch. Lines, wrinkles, spots, circles, moles, scars, crepiness, sagginess, all the things. Alavita is your patch for that. Okay. For anything neurological, we're going to go back again to the brain. X39, Eon, Carnosine, X49. Those are our brain patches. Those are our heart patches. If you've had an organ transplant, nope, can't make any recommendations on that. Go check with your doctor. We have no idea. Obviously, no one's lining up to do clinical studies. So that is the only time we're like, can't make any recommendations. We don't want your body to reject an organ that you waited so long to get and had to have in order to survive. So we don't have any answer on that. Let's see. What patches would be beneficial for countering restless leg syndrome? So I would get water, minerals. You are mineral deficient. If you have restless leg, you're mineral deficient. Get yourself some magnesium flakes off of Amazon. The Ancient Minerals, I think, is the brand name, magnesium flakes that I have. It's fantastic. Soak in the bath every night. Use your X39. Use your Eon at night before bed. But get your minerals. That's your problem, okay? And my friend had a liver transplant. Yep, we just discussed that. Is it okay to be drinking collagen and BCAA while wearing these? It better be, because I have been for 3 years. So it's really important. I feel absolutely vital, important to get my electrolytes, amino acids every single day. And collagen is so important. We know that X39 and Alavita both increase your own collagen production. And so we know that after 18, your collagen declines by 1%. That's why you see the skin looking the way it does and the hair and the nails. But did you know that collagen, there's actually 5 types, and you don't get typically all 5 types from a supplement or a powder that you're taking. You usually get 1 or 2, maybe 3 types. This patch technology elevates all of your collagen. Collagen is the glue that holds everything together on the inside. It's responsible for your metabolism. It's responsible for your joints, your bones, right? All of that stuff inside, all the lubrication and keeping everything together. And of course, hair, skin, and nails, of course, too. But very important that you have adequate collagen. So you can definitely use those if you want, and I do, but know that the patches are going to elevate your collagen. X39 day, Alavita at night. Already did brain. Athletes, you could only use X39 and one other patch. It would definitely be X49, 100%. If you can only use one other, just because those combo, when you look at the clinical studies, it's crazy. But I just did a 5-part series on athletes, so make sure you watch that. If you have pain on your right wrist and you put the brown patch on the pain, where would you place the white patch? I've heard brown on pain, white on right. So if it's your wrist, the first thing I would do is do white where the pain is. So maybe the pain's up here, white on the right. This is my right wrist, and I would put tan on the left. This works with the polarity of your body, opening up energy channels. Pain is stuck energy. Try that first. If it doesn't work, then yes, come over to the right, put your tan patch on, see if I can make that stay, and then do your clockwise method, right? Okay, your 12, your 3, your 6, your 9. Move this white one around and leave it there for a few minutes each spot to see if it opens up the energy channels. If it doesn't, then switch it. Switch it to white and then do the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9. But give it a few minutes on each spot and see if it doesn't help open up the energy channels, okay? Pain is stuck energy. All right, you guys, we have 3 minutes left. Can you repatch after 12 hours with Ice Wave, or do you need to rest? I'm getting this question a lot lately. I don't know who is out there telling you guys that you can just leave patches on for 24 hours, or you can take off one set and put on another set of the same thing. That is not correct. You need to give your body a 12-hour break, okay? I have never, ever heard David, and if anybody of you have ever heard David, please send me the video where he says this. And I've heard the man on video, and I've heard him in person hundreds of times. I don't know where this is coming from, but you leave a patch on 12 hours, you take it off and you throw it away, and you give your body 12 hours break. And then you patch again, another set of 12 hours. You take it off and you throw it away. Every patch has its own 12-hour window. So if you're in pain, use your X39, your X49, your Eon during the day, put on your Ice Wave at night. If your hip's hurting and you can't sleep at night, do the Ice Wave at night to get rid of the pain, or use your Eon and Ice Wave at night, and maybe just X39, X49 during the day, or even Energy Enhancer can help get rid of the pain sometimes too. But don't use the patches for 12 hours or 36 or beyond 12 hours for 24 or 36 hours. Okay. Because what's happening is you're signaling molecules in the body. You're signaling this process, different peptides and different biological processes. And when you do that too much, the body says, nope, done. Not going to keep doing this. And it's not going to be as effective. Okay. There's a reason you need a 12-hour break. All right. Oh boy. Sorry, Sherry, you're going to have to, that's a very, sorry. We only have 1 minute, so don't have time for the very, very long one. I'm going to see if there's one more question in here. Can't talk about cancer, girlfriend. Okay. Did you take your spouse Brent picture at the moment? No, I didn't. Sorry. Which patches for bones? That's a great question to end on. Okay. So bones, X39, X49. Wow. The studies are insanely incredible. 6 months or 60 days, we're starting to see some changes. 12 months, mind blowing. But the testimonials, the DEXA scans, spot on. We see changes at the 6-month mark, and we see significant changes for people with things that were really bad that are not anymore at that 12-month mark. So definitely patch X39 and Eon. All right, you guys, I think I got to almost all the questions. Looks like there's, I don't know, a few more down there. If I didn't get to your question, please get back with the person that invited you. They're going to help you. We're all connected. Everyone can answer questions. Of course, again, no diseases, right? Not claiming to treat or cure anything, but go to startx39now.com. Please look at the studies, look at the information, watch the videos that are on there, educate yourself. Know that this technology is safe, it's effective, it's affordable, and it can work for you if you stay consistent with it. I'll have this recording up on my YouTube after my next Zoom is over. Thank you guys, and have a fantastic evening.